Okay. All right. So, hello, this is my final presentation for the Carter case study. We've obviously done about two of them, but this is me simply talking about it. So, I hope you enjoy and let's get right into it. So to start off, let's talk about the overall what is the Carter Company? So, essentially, it began as a smaller family owned coin laundry business. I know that's quite the mouthful, but over time it expanded into a chain of more dry cleaning and pressing stores. Uh, Again, like it's not super uncommon for that, but this is what they did. And as the company grew, there were some challenges rose, especially in HR, and essentially because of the quick rise, the decisions were made by the owners instead of HR, since they technically were HR decisions. And today, I'm going to walk through how strategic AR planning and effective training programs can address the issues and support the company's continuing growth. And we're going to talk about the challenges later in the presentation. So currently the company is in 6 stores, each with about 7 employees. And because the business grew pretty quickly, there was no structure, like there was no HR structured system. And like I said earlier, the owner and the managers were managing. They were essentially HR when they shouldn't have been. And due to the lack of structure, hiring, training, and overall performance from the employees, uh, everything was on the lower end of the spectrum and not great customer service, which is again, it directly impacts everyone's perspective of the company. Now, the strategic shift and diversification, the expansion added new services like pressing, cleaning, and spotting. It increased it increased the need for skilled labor and structured HR processes, and there was more complex customer service and expectations. Obviously, when it grows, you're going to want the company to be a lot more, structured and trustworthy, because if they're going to come back, you want them to be a good company to be with. And diversification will be able to increase the profits, and obviously it's going to require a new skill sets for the employees, because if we just stick with the same ones throughout the whole thing, well, we can only do that for so long. Now, unfortunately, the Carter Cleaning expanded its service before putting in any HR systems in place. So it's like they had the drive, but they didn't have the structure to make it safe and to make it safe for long term. Now, here's the problems. There's no formal job descriptions or job analysis. The hiring is inconsistent, no standardized interviewing or selection criteria. The performance expectations are not documented, so like we can't really figure out what's going on. And the employees don't receive clear guidance as to what to even do when things go haywire, or just in general how to get better. And the company obviously is at increased risk for any kind of issues that result in legal action, like discrimination, unfair treatment, and violation of safety, and putting the customers at not being safe as well. And the reason why it's important to have these strategies for HR is when you're building a business, people are going to grow with it. And the overall strategy ensures that the company hires the right people. Like, I don't want like a complete. I mean, I don't mind people coming in, but if I were in Carter's situations, I would want to make sure that I get the right people and not people who are not qualified. And obviously, being able to implement a strategic plan is going to improve the overall satisfaction of customers. Is going to want them to come back and continue to come back, and obviously maintain that quality and supporting that long-term growth so we can be stable, or so Carter Company can be stable. And the best strategies is kind of going off what I said before, is conduct job analysis, create more essentially create job descriptions to clarify what the expectations are and take an accountability, and standardize hiring procedures. Obviously, it's a company, we want those to include interviews, questions, and again, overall just better selection. and develop those policies to cover attendance, safety, performance, and conduct, and create operations and and HR manual, like, because again, I want to see, like I said, it's summarized it earlier, to ensure that consistency across all of the stores. So if you don't just want one and a couple of like, oh well, this is a 3-star, but the main one's a 5-star, and I wish we could get that in the other ones. That's gonna decrease the overall rating of the company itself. Now, the training and development, as in case study two, it kind of shifts from strategy to the training. And at Carter Cleaning, there's not a whole lot of training. There's no formal training program, and the employees, they are not receiving. They either receive little or none at all orientation, and because of this, the overall customer service is it's gonna vary pretty widely across all the stores. Some examples is some stores don't greet customers the right way. There's not Others don't have poor inspection. Like some shelves are not, or like some things that they do is obviously not that great. And finally, some don't offer additional services to help with what they're doing. And I apologize for saying shelves. I was thinking of something else, but like if it's not the same across all the stores, people are gonna come up with false assumptions, and then they're gonna start coming less and less. Like, oh, I don't trust this that much. And why the training is so critical, well, it's going to create consistent service quality, less mistakes, safer and more efficient operations, and higher customer satisfaction. Because without training, like, let's be honest, it's not going to be a very, very consistent workplace throughout all of them. And the overall rating is going to be a lot lower due to it. Now, the program structure is on the job training. Supervisors demonstrate tasks that employee practice with guidance. And the overall instruction sheets will be step by step guides to help employees remember essentially what to do, like greeting customers, inspecting the garments, and offering the services like you're supposed to do. And standard operating procedures, well, just essentially making sure to be helpful and sticking to protocol and not being a complete jerk and saying, oh, I don't want to be here. Just being a good employee, essentially. So, how does strategy and training work together? Well, HR strategy and training must support each other, and essentially, HR strategy identifies what the business's needs, and the training teaches employees how to meet those needs. So they kind of combat each other in a way. And for Carter Cleaning, as the business expands, the roles become more demanding because as the business grows, the customer, well, yeah, obviously, as it says, the demand is going to be a lot higher and the expectations are going to increase. And the training ensures the employees are going to deliver consistent service. It's not like, oh, 3-star service here, 1-star service here, and, 5-star service here. That's kind of like a one and done. Like, no, consistent throughout the whole thing. And obviously, and I kind of just said it, but consistent service improves the satisfaction and increases the profit. Like if it's just one, then that's going to be great for that one. But if it's not all of them, that's pretty minimal for profit versus all is maximum. And the action plan, so some short terms is write job descriptions, train them first so they can supervise others to help increase it further, and implement the orientation and training programs, well, obviously. And then some long-term actions is build a complete manual. So they get a full in-depth guide as to the standards so that way they can do the best job possible. Develop performance evaluation systems, provide ongoing training updates so that way it's not just the same thing throughout the whole time. Customer demands are going to change. We're going to have every once in a while, they're going to need to get updated so that we can keep up with the demand of the customer's needs. And just track the metrics, making sure everything is good, stable, nothing, too odd, like turnover and error rates. Now, in conclusion, the Carter Cleaning Company case highlights lots of things, but mainly it's the importance of strategy and training in a growing business. It's not super big. So being able to grow the business from small to something is a lot harder than people would think. And module 2 shows the company needs to have a solid foundation, job analysis, that meant to be a comma, and just good descriptions and policies that are going to be good long term and overall just good for the employees and are reliable. And in module 5, it shows effective training is essential to deliver consistent service and improving performance, because obviously the performance of not just the customers or of the employees, apologies, is essential, and delivering that service is the reason that this company is going to exist at all. And if we're not going to meet those standards, well, might as well kiss it goodbye. So thank you for listening. And feel free to ask any questions. I mean, well, it's going to be Professor that's going to watch this, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'll be happy to hear them out. Thank you.